Hello, everyone, and welcome. Leslie Hasser with your Biz Rules Business Coaching and the Small Business Collaborative. I'm moving my mic ever so carefully not to touch the mute button. But we've got an interesting topic today. Interesting in the way that I don't see too many business owners that have actually done this work. You may be familiar with it if you've followed Simon Sinek. I know my brother-in-law recommended a book that he actually did with his, he's pastor of a church up in Iowa, and he did it with his session and really talking about defining that why. The why you do what you do. And it's a really important concept to get nailed down. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to share a little bit of my why, and hopefully that'll inspire you to do the work to define your own why. So first off, if you are seeing this live, give us a howdy shout out. If you're watching this as a replay, say replay. And if you'd like live notifications, I will say, guys, even if you've clicked this before to get live notifications, you might need to click it again. I would suggest doing it again. And that is because Facebook and our messaging system has changed a lot in the last 2 weeks. And so I can only send you a message if you click. And that's really all that is for. It's just you'll get the notifications when we're going live so that you can tune in. So a little bit about my why. So a lot of the times you come on to the Be More Successful show, I'll start off with saying that we're empowering prosperity for all small business owners. That's really the belief, is that prosperity is possible and that it is an intention and achievable in abundance for everyone. I do believe in that. But I will say I didn't always believe in that, which kind of, I guess, goes back to my why. So a little bit about my journey. I don't say probably. I will say that I was always meant to do this, to always be an entrepreneur, to always own my own business. And as a kid, I remember selling jelly bracelets. I remember selling teddy bear pins. Do you remember teddy bear pins? I would almost resell anything to make a little bit of money. Part of that was my family was really poor. So a couple dollars went a long way. And I just remember that always being like, I need money. Let me go sell something. It was like that next logical step in my brain. So I've always had an entrepreneurial mindset or disposition, if you will. And I remember my parents had businesses, owned businesses, kind of went off and on. Like they'd own one, they close it down, they go work for somebody, then they go back to the business. So it was a part of my world. And I remember there was one business that actually was going really well and producing income past the bills, so to speak. So not crazy. It wasn't crazy, but it meant things Hi. Wow, that's so much fun. We are back. I don't know, is anyone else having crazy Wi-Fi issues today? We are. So we're back. Thank you for hanging in. If you've hung in, um, we'll give this just a little bit of time to catch up for everyone, but we're back. So back to the story. So as I was saying, my parents were, in and out of businesses as in my childhood, and I remember that. But I do remember one business, and I was explaining before our internet decided to go down that really this was a business that started to change our lives. This one business, and I remember that my parents were happier. Like you could see it lifting their spirits, so to speak. That we had some extra cash that we could do things like I think I should, going to breakfast at McDonald's on a Saturday morning, or taking a road trip, or just enjoying some of the little extras in life. Oh, good morning, Lynette. It's good to see you. And so I remember through the course of that business, happening is they had basically a distributorship, so they would resell product, and if you resell product before you keep up with sales tax as part of that. And sales tax is something you have to be very diligent with. I could show you my sales tax binders from my first business, and it's all because of this story. It really is because of this story, because they were using a accountant to help with that, and the accountant, instead of paying sales tax, and this was well before the time you could just do it online, embezzled the sales tax money, and it was a good hefty 5 figures of sales tax money that he embezzled. And the thing is that we did not personally, my family did not personally have the financial wherewithal to shelter, to weather that storm. And so they lost their distributorship, the franchise. They had to file bankruptcy. They had to go back out and find jobs, and the loss was very crushing. It was very crushing to them, and that impacted our family, massively impacted our family. And we, I just kind of, without going into all the gory details, I say this is the point in time that my family started declining. Like everything bad that happened in my childhood happened after this point. And as a 10, 11, 12-year-old at the time, kids, we process things as children in different ways. But the thing that I processed was that business was bad for families. Like I would never go into business because I would never want to jeopardize my family. And that still, that has clouded a lot of my decisions and how I set things up in my own business for good. Sometimes not for the best of my interest, but I'm very fiscally conservative. I'm also very checks and balances. There's a lot of checks and balances. Now, in it today, we've got more options. But I will say the big thing, for a little girl that grew up that was reselling jelly bracelets and teddy bear pins and all that stuff, I steered away from business for a very long time until 2007 when I opened up my first business. And my first business really took off really well, better than I even thought it would. And I was really confident at that time period until the markets crashed in 2008 and 2009. So I was about 18 months old as a business when the markets crashed. And the next few years were just the biggest struggle. And honestly, it was like my biggest fear had come true, that I was in a business that would negatively impact my family. And there were 2 years from like '09 to 11 where I really did struggle. I really did try. I mean, I tried. Man, I tried real hard. I worked hard. I worked more hours because maybe that would be the magical thing that would change my business. And it wasn't until I got that outside help in my own business, my first business, and started to learn more of the business fundamentals, um, that everything started to shift and change. And prosperity is one of those words for me that means so many things. It's like, scaling rich is one of our trademarks as well. The richness means so many things, and it really does extend past the money. I mean, the money's important, don't get me wrong. You know that about me. I'm always going to tell you the money's important, but it extends further. When you think of all of the qualities that a successful business can bring to your life, can bring to your family, can bring to your community, to your employees, to everyone that touches your business, and is impacted by your business, there's prosperity is yours. I almost go like, I'm hesitant to almost even say that it's a birthright, but it is there. It is possible for you. It is attainable for you. It's just that our attitudes, our mindsets, and our choices can keep us away from that. And so if I can empower business owners, either through sharing the crazy stories, I was sitting here, honestly, guys, I was like, which story should I share? Like, which story should I share? Because I have so many of them. When I tell you I've got an MBA from the School of Hard Knocks, it's the truth. I have learned things very practically, very much in the trenches, going through the same things that you've gone through or that you are going through in your business. And I've come out on the other side. And that's really, that's that empowering part of what I do and why I try to make sure that this is so approachable, and why I give so much away is because I know that if you're in your darkest moment, if you are in the pit of despair, you just need a question answered. And if you can get that one question answered, then you can take a step forward. And that step forward, hopefully, is coming out of the pit of despair, right? It's hard to be there, and it's hard to see what your next step can be if you stay there too long. That's why I share so much with everything that we do here in my business and with our new initiatives. And it's, Monday, we're going to open up registration for the next Thrive and Flourish 5-day challenge, which will be on September 28th. The immensity of what goes into that little program is just another reason why we do what we do. Because if we can impact, right? If we can drive impact, if we can empower a new mode of thinking about your business, some new habits, some new foundations, I know what an impact that has for people. I've seen it time and time again. And I've seen it with my clients. And that, one of the things about working with me is that you shouldn't need me forever. If I'm doing my job, if I'm really doing my job, you should not need me forever. So when I come back and I talk to clients, 2 and 3 years past, it's absolutely thrilling to see that the things that they've chosen to continue to do are having such a huge impact, that prosperity has grown each and every year because what we share is just good business. It's not mumbo jumbo. It's not, we don't hold back. We share profusely. We go through extreme generosity, and we sell some things too. And that's okay. That's how we pay for that extreme generosity. So that is, my why that I don't always share completely. But it is the passion that gets me staring into a computer screen when the internet goes down, talking to the deep blue yonder out there, with live videos. I'm always happy to hear when you're watching and plugged into, because that's kind of tells me to keep going, if you will. So that is my why. That is the reason that I do things. It is really, I believe your why is one of the compass points that help you manage and navigate your business. We've talked about your vision. We've talked about your values. We've talked about the why. These are all points on your compass that really help you as the owner navigate the changing world that we're in and knowing what is the best next step to take on your journey. So guys, I hope that was inspiring for you today. I hope you identified with some of that, that you really can see why defining your why is so important for you and for your business and for the people that you impact. So that's it for today, guys. Again, if you enjoyed this, if you watched this, say howdy. If you're watching live, if you're catching it on a replay, say replay. Hey, if you know what your why is, I'd love for you to put it in the comments. Let's have a little fun with this and see really what everyone's why is in their business, and drive a little more connection that way. So that's it for today. I will be back on Monday. It's hard to believe it's Thursday already, but we'll be back on Monday with another little bit more musings and ditties. And until then, may your week be wonderful and profitable. I'll talk to you soon.